Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Three Hammers podcast. We've all kissed and made up. We're all friends again this week. So yes, back again with Luke and Lee. How we doing, lads?
Good, mate. It's great to be back. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast last week. I have to say, been some amazing feedback. You really enjoyed the discussion. Listen, we don't just sit here and agree with each other every week. That's not what this is about. We've all got views of West Ham. Whether you agree with my view, Paul's view, or Lee's view, it's all just views, and that's all it is. Yeah. We're just all opinionated. And we've got our own views.
Yeah, if we all had the same opinion, the world would be a boring place.
Yes,
I know, and it just goes to show because in the one video I've been called the most intellectual and the most awful. So, you know,
yeah.
There's an opinion for you.
Right, guys, let's get straight to it. Again, just for you guys out there, we're going to try and keep the shows a little bit shorter because we know that hour mark. You know, you can get a little bit sort of bored or you get things to do, so we're going to try and condense them down just for you guys. Okay, let's just start off very, very briefly, guys. We've talked about it. I've ripped the flag down. I've put the flag back up. West Brom, guys, just very quickly, your opinions, guys. I know, Paul, you've touched on it in your video. I've touched it in mine. Lee, we've not actually heard from you about West Brom.
Defensively, a shambles. I mean, the simple... I don't know if it can boil down to something as simple as if we defended as we should have done in the last match, we would have won the game because we was in control of the match.
Well, we had 71% possession.
Exactly, and possession is a bit of a dodgy one because Leicester had less possession of virtually every team they played last season, so I don't read too much. But in terms of chances we created in the second half, we had enough chances in the second half alone to win the match. Really,
definitely.
And if we could have defended, I just don't know what's happened. The one thing that really frustrated me was the amount of people bottling challenges, and that's not acceptable.
Oh.
There was a few with Saku, who didn't have the best game. Nordvet bottled a couple, and Lanzini was bottling challenges in the second half. It's not acceptable.
Should Nordvet be playing right back though?
I don't think it was the only option, wasn't it? I think in that game, I don't know if there was another. I haven't heard how Byram is. I don't know what it was, or nothing seems to have come out. I don't know. In hindsight, probably a 70% fit Arbeloa. I can't believe there's much difference in Arbeloa's fitness between Saturday and he's going to play Wednesday apparently. So those few days, despite it being a Premier League side, blah 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 blah. I think he was probably worth the risk to throw in. I think.
Before I talk about the problems, because that's the next thing on the agenda, is issues and defence in the club. Are there any positives from you guys? Obviously, my positives were obviously Antonio brilliantly carries on his run of 5 in 4 now, and Lanzini for me, he did play well. I know Lee, you said he's bottled a few chances. I did think he was very, very busy though. To be fair, positives from you guys. Yeah.
He hasn't got the quality, but I thought Cagliari put himself about. I don't think he's good enough to be in the side, but he put himself about well in the second half. He sort of swung his boot at a few chances. He certainly did more than Zaza did in the first half, in my opinion. Other than that, Payet's free kick, if that would have went in, who knows what could have happened. But then we scored from, I think it was a resulting corner or certainly very quickly afterwards. Attacking wise, Faguli I thought looked good when he came on.
Very good. He was very good when he came on. Very busy, direct.
Certainly got out their defender, and in fact they had to make the change not long into the second half because he was it was the guy in Live Mirren, Galloway, he was playing against, and he was tearing him up. So that's positive as well. Looking forward to seeing him tomorrow night against Accrington. I'm assuming he's going to start the game. I think they're the biggest positives that can be taken from the match, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Your positives, Paul?
Yeah, no, pretty much the same. And I think, like Lee, you said there about Cagliari getting into positions. To be honest, I think he's done that every time he's played. His movement is good, and he obviously reads the game quite well. I think he just needs a goal. I think if his confidence is probably a bit low.
One of those sort of players, yeah.
Yeah, I think if he gets a goal, I think we might see a decent player there because he's obviously got a brain about him. You know, he does get into good positions.
Yeah.
I think lack of composure as well, because if you think the couple of chances that I
think he's desperate. I think he's desperate.
2 1-on-1s, wasn't it, in the first 2 games that he sort of fluffed.
These players know how big an opportunity it is. He knows if he goes and scores 2, 3, 4 goals, he's got a chance.
Should we just pause on Zaza a minute because he's
Yeah,
potentially could cost a lot of money
I see. Sorry, God. I see
if what happens.
West Ham Fan TV. Okay, like they was discussing this issue as well. Now, if you believe what you read, that he's got 16 games, and then we have to buy him. Right? Okay, he's got 14 left. What happens if he don't score in the next 5 or 6? What then?
It's a really it's a bad decision bad position to be in for the club, and it was probably a bad deal to do because, I mean, he's never played in the Premier League before. You know, he's never played in this country before. So he's moving to a brand new country. He's got a brand new team. He's got to adjust to the country, to the football, get used to playing with his teammates. You know, we know it. We know it's not easy for players to come into the Premier League and hit the ground running. They need time. So you can't expect him to come in and score an hat-trick on his debut and then score every other game. It's not going to happen. But
so how many goals does he need to score in 14 games for you to go, okay, let's buy him?
Well, I think that's the thing. I don't think...
he's under pressure. Pressure.
That's the thing. It doesn't... It's a no-win position. Unless he did it the ground running, it's a no-win position because you're not going to be able to give him the time he needs to settle in. Like you say, he's going to be under pressure straight away. Right, if I'm going to stay here, if I'm going to pick up a contract, then I need to be scoring goals. So that's on his mind. And yeah, it's just a bad position to be in. I don't think it was a very clever deal from the club.
No, I do agree. But that being said, I think he didn't do the basic things right on Saturday. In terms of sort of he was playing up front on his own, he wasn't putting up the ball. His control was cold and
needs to play. I know it's a very old-fashioned style, but I think he needs to play in a 4-4-2. Like he needs a second striker with him. But again, as you say, Lee, he can't even hold the ball up to be able to lay it off to that second striker. From what I see on Saturday, which was awful.
Yeah, no, wasn't impressed on Saturday. But again, it's only his second game. Probably building up fitness because Italian sides, I think their league starts later now, so he probably was behind a bit actually in his fitness. But you know, we know he can score goals. He's proven in Italy that he can score goals.
He scored against us as well, and he scored a very good goal against us as well.
Yeah. So I'm sure the goal will come, the first goal. And as you say, most strikers, barring the few that are sort of at the next level, go by confidence, and hopefully when he gets that goal, it will the touch will come and sort of bring another. When you play that lone striker, you've got to be able to bring others into play. And if you're under the cosh a bit, then you need someone that can hold it up and wait for your Lanzinis and your Piazzi Antonios to sort of get up the pitch. And he didn't do that. I think Cagliari did that a lot better when he came on.
I know we've said he probably won't play for West Ham again, but honest to God, we are screaming for a Sacco-like character to be playing at the moment, aren't we? Someone who just hustles defences. The problem with the strikers we've got at the moment, they're too immobile and they don't hustle defenders. Like, I know you love him, Lee. When Andy comes back, yes, he's very good in the air, etc. But defenders have got more or less a sort of easy day, apart from when set pieces are coming in.
What Cal does do is he isolates one of the centre halves. So when Cal's playing, they always put one of their centre halves on Andy Cal. They can't leave him because he'll flick it on. He'll win.
Thinking about the Everton game again from last year, when Carroll come on, that freed Sacco up because Jagielka was too much on Andy Carroll, and then obviously it freed everyone up. But we're desperate for a striker that hustles defenders, and maybe
Ashley Fletcher may be the answer.
Why does Cagliari keep coming on first as well?
I will say about Fletcher, he does look very good, Ashley Fletcher, but I will say he comes on, as soon as he comes on, he looks really good, but then he does fade very quickly, I think. He does sort of drop out the game quite quickly. He makes a big impact when he first comes on, but then he does sort of fall out the game a bit.
But is that because the players around him are too tired at that point to give him the service?
Could be.
I don't know. I'm just putting theories out there. I'm trying to defend the player. But there is a guy, just one little positive, there is a guy that maybe will get a chance tomorrow. It's Tony Martinez. And that guy did score again last night. He now has 7 in 6. And I'm sorry, if you're struggling to score goals and you're desperate, I don't care, just chuck him in.
Yeah, I actually I did the preview for the Accrington game, and to be honest, I completely forgot about him.
I just watched the preview actually, and I thought, why he didn't even mention him, because I think he'll be on the bench tomorrow. Do you not think?
Yeah, he played last night, so I think he'll be on the bench, and we'll get onto what we think in a bit. But yeah, it's worth a go, isn't he? Surely. I mean, ideal situation is, and again, let's go into dreamland like that. We're 3-0 up after the hour mark. You can then take off people like that and let the kids have a go.
That's very optimistic. 3-0 up.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's
At the
dreamland.
moment, if we can't even beat some Romanian farmers, do you know what I mean? I assume that I don't know, Accrington are on the same sort of level. I don't know.
No, Astro are better than that.
League Two, and they're not even a top League Two team.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised at anything at the moment. No, honestly, I wouldn't.
It's not just this season. West Ham have always been giant killed. It's not. It wouldn't be I guess it would be a surprise, but we're sort of moving on to Accrington here. But
no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yes, it would be a surprise, but it's kind of what we do.
No, I agree. I agree, and I think most West Ham fans would agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we're owed a cup run if the season's going to go the way I think it's going to go, which is a very low bottom half finish. What do you think?
Yeah, like I think if we finish 10th right now, I'd bite your hand off, to be honest, the way it started. But I think I seem to say let's look, but there, I've lost my way again. We've got 3 games now before the international break, and that's a very key milestone. I think Bilic said today in his pre-match interview for the Accrington game that we've got Accrington. We've got 3 home games. Accrington, help me out.
Saints and
Middlesbrough. So their games. If we get 3 wins from there, we're in a much better position.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, if we do get 3 wins there, then we're not going to be saying we're going to be finishing at the bottom of the table. You know, we'll be thinking, all right, let's push on. So yeah, it's but I mean, how many people said before the last 2 games, these are games we should be winning?
Well, so we do it every month, don't we? And we will do it for October as well. We sort of previewed a month ahead, and we were saying we should be aiming for at least 9 points, and we can't get 9 points now. We can only get 6. So I don't know. Looking ahead to Southampton, they're not the team they were under Cohen, but I don't know. They're still a dodgy little side. They're a dodgy little side.
Their first win.
I don't know, one of those sides that always sort of beats, like a Stoke sort of side.
We've got a terrible record against Southampton.
Yeah, we beat them last year, Andy Carroll and Antonio. But
I think it might have been, I don't know who said this, it might have been on this podcast, maybe Lee said it, but I always think back to the promotion season. And they really got under my skin that season.
Yeah,
the fans.
I really don't like them.
And so since then, no. But I don't think since then we've done that well against them either. So
no.
Last season, I remember it was the day Lanzini came back from injury. He was on the bench, and we were shocking in the first half. We were 1-0 down. It was one of the worst performances of last season in the first half. Lanzini came on at half time, completely changed and got injured again and went off. So he sort of came on, won the game.
That was when Antonio and Carroll were banging in goals together, weren't it, all the time then? Okay, before I move on to the next one, guys, just very quickly, because like I say, we're trying to condense the show for you guys. Predictions for Accrington, please.
You're sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if I say we're going to lose, people are going to pick it. I don't think we'll lose. I think we'll scrape through. And I think somehow we're going to keep a clean sheet. I'm going to say 1-0 victory.
Okay, Paul's prediction, guys, if you want to see it, is in his preview.
Yep.
So I don't want to spoil that. Go and check his preview out. It's a very good preview. I'm just doing what I usually do, guys, where I don't give away my scores. As I don't do the cup previews, I will give you a prediction. I think we'll concede. I don't think we'll keep the clean sheet. I think we'll win 2-1. I don't know. I think that clean sheet will be a bit of a hoodoo for a while of when we can get that first clean sheet. On the Saints, guys, like I say, we just touched on it very quickly. I'll give my prediction once I find out what we do against Accrington. But what do you think, guys? Obviously, there's rumours that Andy Carroll might be about as well. He was very close to being on the bench for West Brom, so he could be back. So.
Can I just throw in a quickie? If against Port, I haven't watched your preview yet, I will, because I'm sure it's great. But in my view, I think the back four will probably be something like, I think it'd be something like Misaku, Oxford, Ogbonna, the Spaniard.
Arbeloa.
I don't know if that's what you said.
That's exactly what I said, yeah.
Okay. If that were to keep a clean sheet, would you keep it, Southampton?
I would throw Oxford in there. I would throw Oxford in.
I said this last week, didn't I?
Yeah.
I would.
Well, in the video I did about how to fix West Ham, that one I said about Oxford, and that does worry me. I would be tempted to chuck him in, but at the same time, he's coming into to chuck him into a defence that's leaking goals. That might do him more harm than good.
Yeah.
So
I think if he's not playing against big bully-like players like your Lukaku's like last year, Michy Bastiai, them sort of players, I think he'll be okay. Like against a Shane Long, who is a good player, I think Oxford could deal with pace players, but it's those real
Charlie Austin.
He would struggle against.
and there's a
them.
big difference between Accrington Stanley and Southampton.
Yeah. Right. Okay, guys. So, obviously, for me, there's loads of bad things going on at the club at the moment. Defence. There seems to be players not playing to their full standard, and obviously, another thing that come out today is about Bilic. Contracts talks delayed. I don't think you can read too much into that. The Davids have always had a thing where they don't talk contracts until the end of the season. For me,
I recall Sullivan saying last year they were going to talk in January.
yes, that is the actual quote. Yep, that he was going to talk in January, but that has now been delayed to the end of the season now.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the latest.
Yeah.
If
And may I ask, has it come out the club or is it?
I don't know. I see. That's what I think as well. All newspaper rumours. Is it just because there's negativity around the club? These things are just being made up to.
the thing is though, is if we lose the next few games, he's not going to last until January.
I don't think so either.
But I'm not going to start an argument. I'm just again devil's advocate here. Look at that Allardyce year. The year we lost 5-0 at Forest and 6-0. They wouldn't sack him.
I agree, Lee, and I was thinking this
but
myself.
Bilic is on less money.
I was thinking myself about that because we had a terrible, really, really bad run under Allardyce, and obviously he kept his job, but Allardyce was so stubborn and so like pig-headed about everything. He had that aura about himself, like you can't sack me. See Bilic's last 2 interviews, he looks defeated.
He does. He looked really deflated. The West Brom game, he looked.
Allardyce was never like that. Allardyce was, listen, I don't care. Allardyce was like such a presence. Whereas to me, Bilic's last 2 interviews, he's looked a broken man. He really has. And
the bubble is definitely burst at the moment. The bubble's burst on last season.
It's just I'm just speechless a lot of the time at the moment because the defence is just odd.
I touched
just,
on it
why
in
can't they
West Brom
defend?
Review from a guy who looks so tactically astute. He looks like he hasn't got a clue what his first 11 is. It just doesn't look like he knows what he's doing this year.
And there's so many things with, like the transfer window. Assuming Bilic had his say and he decided what players we went for, why was he going for like 12 wingers? We left the striker till late. I mean, what's with all the wingers? I don't understand why we bought so many wingers when we needed strengthening elsewhere. That was just weird to me.
It's wingers. That's all we was constantly linked with, wingers.
I must just say I'd be gutted if it doesn't work out with Bilic.
Oh no, I would.
Yeah,
More so,
I'm not.
I'm not saying you disagree. I'm just making the point.
No, I would.
Absolutely,
I'll be gutted.
Absolutely gutted. Probably more so from trying to think back. Any manager in my lifetime, Billy Bonds. I was a kid when he was manager. We was all kids when Billy Bonds was manager. We can't remember that clearly, but yeah, I'd be gutted. Absolutely gutted.
Listen, I don't want to sit here with claret and blue sunglasses either. If the guy does go, if the guy goes like 5 to 10 games unbeaten, he has to go. I really don't want us to stick on a manager and give him time. No, you've not got time in the Premier League anymore. I'm sorry. You've not got time to be messing around. Before you know it, you're about 9 points behind. And you need change sometimes. Sometimes you lose the dressing room, in my opinion. Jump on me if you want, guys. I don't know.
No, I kind of agree with you, mate. I agree. And it's the same. Again, I've been thinking about this with Bilic because, again, going back to Sam, and I hated Sam, right? You can go back and watch our podcast. I couldn't stand the man. But, if, like I say, the difference is between them. Sam made himself unsackable by the way he was. Like the last interview after the West Brom game, Slav comes out and he says, oh, yeah, there's problems at the club and it starts with me. It's good that he's being honest and saying that. You would never, ever hear Sam say anything like that. You would.
Do you know? Go on, Paul. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say you would never hear Sam say anything like that. But by Bilic saying the problem's me, he's giving them an excuse. Do you know what I mean?
And is there only so many times you can say it before the players start thinking, it's all right, he'll take them? I don't know. I'm just thinking mentality-wise.
There may be a bit of it that he's defending them, like defending them in public, and then we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Do you know the other point I just quickly want to make?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Sam Allardyce was David Sullivan's #1 choice when he took the job. Bilic was what, 4th, 5th choice?
Yeah. Someone made a really good point on YouTube, one of the real big YouTube stars actually, said, do you think that Bilic possibly was living off of Allardyce's defence, and the longer it goes on, so sort of toward the end of last season, those defensive rigidness that Allardyce had has obviously faded, and obviously he was living on it for a while, and he said very similar to what Martinez had, where David Moyes had a very good system defensively with Everton, and then Martinez lived off it for a year, and then that defensive went.
I think that's fair to say as far as the defence is concerned, but literally just the defence, because, you know, the rest of
they're not Allardyce's players up front, though, to be fair. The defence is more or less the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a really interesting point, and I thought maybe that is true. Maybe the defence was so well drilled.
It's very strange as well when you think, obviously, Bilic is a defender.
No, and you've
half
got
of the backroom staff, Julian Dix, yeah, exactly. They're all
the best defenders at their time.
Yeah, you would think they would know how to organise a defence, but it doesn't. It don't seem like it.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Croatia, I don't know how many goals Croatia conceded, or it'd be very interesting to look what his goal difference was for his managerial career. Actually, something for next week's podcast, possibly.
Do you know? And again, I've said this as a bit of an elephant in the room so many times before. The thing with Besiktas, finish 5th, finish 4th, finish 5th. He leaves, they win the league. Don't like to say it.
I really don't want to jump on him. I really don't, because I know some West Ham fans are going to jump on this and go, 5 games in. But I don't know. There's something wrong. There is something wrong. Mark Noble just doesn't look like the same player either.
No.
You touched on it in your preview, I think, or with your problems with West Ham. Czech as well. Czech just don't look the same player this year.
Do you think emotionally, there was a lot taken out of Mark Noble last season?
Yeah,
emotionally.
I do think that. Yeah, I think.
And I read also about Payet. So I think it's Trevor Sinclair who had a really good write-up on the BBC website. He said about the emotional thing with Payet as well, being sort of in the host nation of the Euros, and that took a lot out of him because he was a star player for France in the summer. There's no getting away from that. And you know, they paid a lot of money, but as I said before, they're human beings, and maybe things are getting caught up. The other thing I'd say about the defence is, and again, we don't know what goes on behind doors, but Reed, Ogbonna, blah, 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 they're not bad players all of a sudden. And Bilic must be giving them instructions. We don't know if they're following those instructions. We don't know if he's telling Noble and Care. I think back, again, Paul, when I read your How to Fix, watched, the thing that dawned on me with the holding midfielders was Arsenal at home last season, 2-0 down. Bilic made a change, and he said to Coyote, do not move from in front of the centre halves. And we ended up going 3-2. Granted, it ended 3-0, but you could see the very obvious instruction to him was do not move from in front of the centre halves. That's when we were 2-0 down, because we were getting murdered behind, and it was exactly the same. And he said, do not move, and he sat there, and we ended up turning the game around and almost getting 3 points. So I think he needs to do the same again. He needs to, if it's going to be Chiari, Noble, thing with Norbert and Obiang, it's more sort of ingrained in their system, isn't it, to be holding midfielders. Mark Noble started his career as an attacking midfielder. Allardyce turned him into something that he's probably not. Chiari again was a box-to-box midfielder. Granted, he also plays as centre half, and it's just not ingrained in their system as much as it is others.
I totally agree with that point you've just made with Mark. I think Mark was attempted to be moulded into a CDM, and he's not. He's not. He's not good enough to play there. He's a central midfielder. He's not attacking. He's not defensive. He's just central. But with your
played out of his skin last season.
Sorry, Paul. With your video, I totally agree that we've just got to stop the goals going in, and if that means 2 holding, 1 holding, just sit, don't go, because like you say, that attacking three is good enough. That attacking three is good enough to do it on their own. Okay, so there's loads of problems. I think Mark Noble should be dropped. I think too many players are secure of their positions. Just on one note, guys. Okay, if Slav does go, who's your call to be the manager? Who would you like to be the manager?
Eddie Howe.
Okay, yeah. I've got no names. I'll be honest. I really don't know.
No. One name I did see mentioned was Blanc, Laurent Blanc.
Yeah. Maybe we'll sort of nurture Payet, perhaps.
Is he anywhere at the moment? He
No.
left PSG, didn't he?
I don't think so, no.
Interesting. Let us know, guys. Who would you like to be manager next? Hopefully, it's still Bilic in 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years time. But in the inevitability that he does go at some point, who do you want?
Yeah. Let's make that clear as well. All three of us, we all want
Yeah,
Bilic
we
to
do not
succeed.
want
We
him
don't want him to
do
go.
not
We
want
want
him
him
to-
to
I'm a
stay.
massive Slav fan. Massive
Yeah.
fan.
Let's make that clear. We are big fans. We want him to turn it around. We want him to stay.
Yeah. It's just in like
Hypothetically.
hypothetically. Yeah, great word. Okay, question time, guys. As you can tell, the show's going really fast. We're trying to keep it moving. Ryan, where do you think we will finish this season?
11th.
I'm
Why
going to
not?
say 13th in current form.
It's too early to say. It is too early
impossible,
to
isn't it?
say.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, we could finish 7th. We could finish 20th. Do you know
Go
what I mean?
great run and finish 6 again. Who knows?
Yeah, I
Six.
mean, it's too early to say. I don't know.
Andy Smith. Oh, this one's going to be interesting. Who would win in an arm wrestle between Gold and Brady? So we've got Paul's favourite, Brady, versus.
Well, if we were answering this realistically, what is an 80-odd-year-old man
Oh, to be actually, I didn't take that into account. He's
Against-
The devil.
against, and she's not a little woman, is she? She's a big girl. So yeah,
See,
you know.
Richard Keys actually called her out on Twitter, I think, or some vlog. He called her out saying that she calls herself like the Messiah, but really she's messed all this London Stadium up.
Oh, God,
Who
that's,
said that?
That's torn loyalty, isn't it, Paul?
Say
Richard
that.
Keys or Kevin Brady?
Oh yeah, Richard Keys and Karen Brady. Oh, neither.
There's no winner there, is there? Keys and Brady.
Andy Smith again.
Should we actually answer that question? I'm going to say gold.
Yeah, gold. Yeah, gold. Andy Smith again. Do you feel it's a little disrespectful how they are blowing up bits of Upton Park for a film?
Oh, there you go. We briefly mentioned this in one of our cuts.
I'll be honest, I don't really care.
No, they were going to blow it up
It's
anyway.
gone now. It's gone. I think someone made a point in work actually about the seats. You know the seats they didn't sell? I think they could have done something nice with the seats where, I don't know, given to primary school, secondary school and say, like, there's one seat, this is a piece of history, basically, and maybe made a bench in the gardens when they're coming, like, oh, this is the Upton Park Gardens or whatever. I don't know. There's something.
That's a
You know-
nice idea.
You know, it is a nice idea. But I kind of get why people are upset. But what did you want them to do? Take it out seat by seat, brick by brick?
And they've probably earned a few bob off it, probably straight in David Sullivan's back pocket.
But the point I'm making is you can't. It's a massive structure. You can't just sort of. It's not like Jenga. You can't take a bit out and a bit by bit. How else do you demolish it?
That's
You have to do controlled explosion, surely. And in fact, we're getting, we have it on video or DVD on a film forever. It's kind of nice. isn't it?
Yeah. Man like Lanzini. Can you see us turning around our poor start as it's only early doors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Players are coming back. I do. Again, Masuaku's looked brilliant. He had a really bad game, but maybe Cresswell does need to come back in. I don't know. He's that's sort of the difference as well. You've got two steady centre halves, and you've got two fullbacks that have not played with each other, and two fullbacks that have not played with the centre half. So Cresswell is another regular that's been there for a regular for 2 years as well.
It's worth throwing in, actually. We didn't mention that he's back with a ball, playing out on the training field now, so that's good news.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, next one. Is Payet our best player from Dimitri Payet? That's not obviously the real Dimitri Payet. I hope it is, but
Right now, how you define best player, I don't know, but it's Antonio at the moment. If you define best player as someone your team couldn't do without, at the moment, I'd say Antonio.
I agree. Yeah, Antonio's the inform man.
Although, how many of Antonio's goals were made by Payet?
Well, yeah, that too. 3.
Yeah.
3, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do think we do miss Lanzini when he doesn't play, though. I do. I think Lanzini is such a great brain and ticks things over really, really well. I'm a big fan of him. I'm growing more and more of a fan of him. I am. He's fantastic. Lewis O'Brien from Facebook. Fully fit Masuaku or just returned from injury Cresswell? He says he would take the latter.
that's going to be the question, isn't it? When Cresswell is fit and does come back.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have a cup run and he can play those games.
Yeah, I think it'd be just good. It's good to have competition. It's really good for competition. I'm not saying that Cresswell only had a small sort of under par performances towards the start of last season, but since
Mr. Consistent.
yeah, he is. He's consistent, scores goals every now and then, and creates great crosses.
Do you know what else? Now we've got Misaku, and I hate to say this. Cresswell will be a Liverpool player in the next 2 years.
That wouldn't surprise me, actually. Yeah,
He's a Liverpool fan.
yeah, that would.
They need a left
surprise
back,
me,
and I hate to say it, but I just see it happening.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Neil Merry, Facebook. What is the real truth with Sacco? Listen, we touch on this all the time. Without swearing, the geese is just, I don't know, the geese is just a child. He needs to grow up. But like, mate, you're on about 30, 40 grand a week. You're at a big club. Like, what do you want? Remember where you came from, basically, for me.
Yeah, I still maintain I don't think he'll ever play for us again. He's not injured.
I think he's in real danger of his football career sort of going the same way as his personal life.
Yeah.
His personal life is an absolute mess.
But you know what? Because of that, I get the impression that he don't even care.
Yeah.
I do. I just get the impression he doesn't care.
Mortgage free. He don't care. He don't care. He's made it. Like, you got to think. I don't know what he was on in France. What was he on in France? 5 grand a week. I don't know. I can't imagine it was the masses and masses.
No, well, he was in the second division, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have been on hardly anything.
800 quid a week. He might have been on that sort of level of wage. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. You let me know, guys. What do you think of Sacco? What has happened there? Jeremy McRae, are we going to get relegated? I think we touched on this last week. I don't know. I really don't.
It's the same old thing. You're never too good to go down. Anything could happen, but I really don't think so. I really don't think so.
No, I don't. There's a lot worse. Tom TJ Jones, is Zaza actually as good as we think he is? I don't know.
Well, we touched on this again earlier on in the podcast, didn't we? You need to remember that he's a brand new player to this league.
And he's under a lot of a pressure to perform in 16 games.
Do you know what else? I don't think people think he's that good, to be honest. If you type it, I've said this a few weeks ago, type his name into Twitter and he was written off for even kicked a ball. Actually, I don't think...
You have to remember what that Italian side was, okay? They said that he's the worst Italian national team ever. So that says a lot about the strikers, that he's compared with as well. But let's be fair, the strikers you're compared with Italy national teams, it's a bit harsh, isn't it? Like, you're being...
Well, yeah, if you're looking at like Inzaghi's and like
Vieri,
Del Piero, like it's, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Time will tell, won't it? Time will tell.
Yeah. So I tell you what, here's one then. So Graziano Pele was starting for Italy. Is Pele better than Zaza? If he was keeping him out of the national team, then someone thought he was.
The thing is, with regards to the national team, he was obviously playing regularly and scoring for Southampton, whereas Zaza was sitting on the bench at Juventus. Yeah,
to be fair, you've got Morata in front of you again, yeah.
So
is he lacking sharpness then?
Could be.
I said that because they're behind us, Italy, and they don't start their league at the same time as we do. So he was probably behind in their pre-season.
But has he played a lot of football even in the last year then? You got to think Morata was in that team.
Yeah, he didn't play much for Juventus, no.
Yeah. Maybe that's an issue. Maybe we'll see the sharpness in a few games' time. Who knows? Danny Adams from Twitter. Should Ginger be dropped?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I love Ginger. Again, don't jump on us, but I think he's had his day. And I do think this will be his last season at West Ham. I really do. He will still do a job somewhere. Championship, promoted club, but not at West Ham. Yes? No?
Yeah, I mean, I've spoke about this in my How to Fix West Ham video, so you can go over there. And I've talked in depth about it. But yeah, no, definitely same thing. I think he's not at the level that we need now.
Yeah. Agreed. Billy Dennis. If we lose on Sunday, are we in serious trouble? I think so.
I think it's
4 losses in a row, not counting Accrington. Let's just pretend Accrington didn't happen. That will be 4 losses in a row. That's seriously bad.
I think it's very difficult to be cut off at this stage. So 4 losses in a row is bad, yes. Can you recover from it? Yes. I don't know. I don't think we'll if it's a bad situation.
Would you take a 0-0 draw against Southampton?
Against Southampton, if we could then see in the future and say we'll beat Middlesbrough, yes, I'd say 4 points. Given the current situation, if we get 4 points from our next 2 games, I'd be thrilled.
I'd take that regard just for the clean sheet. It's something to build on. I mean, I'd definitely take that.
Yeah. Would majority of West fans take that?
Yeah. Would you take a 0-0, guys, or would you rather see us? I don't know, win? Because obviously you've got to say win, aren't you? But is 0-0 a sufficient result? There's a better question. Is 0-0 an okay result for you on Sunday? Lewis O'Brien. Sorry, we've done his question already. Simply West Ham. Should Faguli start against Southampton? In replace of who?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Question. I like him. I do really like him. But
do you know the only way he can come in is if we do? I don't think we will do this. I don't think we can do this. Do what Guardiola's doing, where he plays Fernandinho and anyone else is an attacking midfielder. So we could play, I don't know, Nordve or
do you play again? Other things that have come up on the internet. Do you play Antonio up top and Faguli takes the right wing?
So it's an option.
I wouldn't like to see it. I think Antonio's so effective on the wing, but then that takes away the defensive responsibilities. He can just sit there and just move around him. Hammer and talk. Jay, have you got your hat? Paul,
no, I haven't. There's no hat today.
Oh, God.
No hat to hand.
You got a hat, Lee?
No, I don't even own one.
Sorry, Jay. No hat this week. Usually a feature when you give us a question. We sort of touched on it already, Jay, but I will put it to the lads. Is it time for Oxford to come in? Could he have done any worse than our centre-back so far?
I think I said them exact words last week. I think I was taking the words out of my mouth, what I said last week. I'd give him a go.
I would definitely give him a go, Jay. Definitely.
I'd certainly give him a go on Wednesday.
And that key word, he can't do any worse. They've all conceded 4 goals this year. Just on that, guys, obviously James Tompkins, well done to him, getting his first goal.
Yes, good.
And he had an actual really good game, actually.
Yeah, but then he only played first half because then know what happened? He got injured. Like he always got injured, did he? He went off at half time injured.
He's got that Andy Carroll thing though, hasn't he, where he sort of goes in for challenges he doesn't need to go in for. But anyway, enough of him. That's Crystal Palace's channel. Official Harry T. Sort of touched on it already. Where do you think West Ham will come this season based on the results so far? If it's just on the results so far, then, guys.
Just on the results so far, we'll be relegated.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Just on results so far, relegation. There you go. Really optimistic we are today. Although it's still early, this is from SB. He gives us questions quite regularly, actually. Although it's still early, what targets do you see us pursuing in January? Maybe some best guesses or names. And who do you see possibly leaving in the same window? Please don't mention Payet. So targets we should be aiming for in January, and are there any sort of standout names?
I don't think anyone will go unless we manage to sell Sacco.
Yeah, Sacco might go.
Players to bring in. I mean, obviously, I think we're definitely going to bring in a centre half. I mean, we were linked with Smalling in the summer quite a bit, so it wouldn't surprise me to see us going for Smalling.
Has he been playing?
No. He played the weekend, but that's the first.
That it was, Blint and Bailey.
That's the first game he's played. So they lost. So
I think if you can get him for 20-25 minutes, I think you've got to go for it. I think because he's still very young as well, isn't he? Is he only about 27?
It's 20, yeah, about that, mid-20s.
Yeah, so I would have him all day long. I would have him.
Do you know, Paul, again, I'm going to...
Leader as well, leader.
Paul Sank from your video, he was talking about the goalkeepers. Won't happen in January, but in the summer, especially if they carry on going as they are at the moment, I want us to go all out for Jack Butland. Mm-hmm. That guy, future England number 1, is a top quality keeper, young. That's who we should be going for.
Is there? I think we need a leader as well. Is there anyone out there that you would like to see, like a leadery character? Is there a Scott Parker line around someone's team that could come in and sort of drag us?
Do you know who could leave in January? And this is proper dreamland, but Yaya Toure could be available in January. Not right attitude.
He's slated, this guy, and it seems like Mourinho actually likes him. But someone like Fellaini would be absolute brilliant for our midfield. Like, just he is a leader. But Fellaini is a leader, isn't he? Like, he is just a nutcase in the middle of the pitch. I don't know.
I don't know how well we're doing our team because he's all over the pitch. He's all over the place, and I don't know if we've got the players to carry him to be able to do that. I don't know.
Do we need anywhere else? So yeah, Chris Smalling definitely. I would, if he's available, we should be going in for him. Will there be need for another striker? Perhaps. I keep forgetting that I use our team. I honestly just keep forgetting people like that are still yet to come back.
I can't see us bringing in a striker. I mean, obviously we've got Ayew, Carroll, Zaza. If he's assuming he'll still be here. Kaleri, Fletcher.
CDM.
I'll tell you who could go. Obiang.
Yeah.
So if Obiang went, then I could see us bringing in another defensive midfielder.
I agree.
You know, on a quick fix, I'd love Carrick as a quick fix to the end of the season.
He'd do the job that we need. He'd do that sitting in front of the
move, is he?
He'd do the sitting in front of the defence job.
Experience at playing centre back now as well. Yeah, so that's ours. What are yours, guys? Who's your targets? Give us some names. Who would you like to see come in centre back? I don't know. You might want to see a new manager. Who knows? Last question from West Ham, in my opinion. For the Saints game, see, I just mentioned this, guys. For the Saints game, would you put Antonio as striker and start for Goody on the wing?
No,
I wouldn't. No, I mean it's an option, but no, I don't think we're going to see that happen.
it's not broken. Don't try and fix it.
Okay, if Tony Martinez comes on and scores tomorrow, does he go in the squad for Southampton?
Squad or starting lineup?
Squad.
We're going to.
At whose expense?
Yeah.
Calieri's coming out.
I mean, that's the thing, because Bilic ain't going to drop Kaleri. If anyone would make way, it'd be Fletcher, and I can't really see that happening either. Now, I don't think that... To be honest, I don't think Martinez is going to play against Accrington. So I don't think... It's probably a non-issue anyway. I think they're going to keep him in the development squad for a year and then go from there.
I don't know. What if he goes... Right, say he's on 7 now, yeah? What if he gets to 10? If he keeps going and goes, I don't know, 10 in 8...
It depends how the first team are doing, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you,
I'd like to see...
then, if someone's got 10 in 8, I don't know, I think you should bring him in. What more do you have to do to prove yourself that, okay, right, I've mastered this level, it's time to step up?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
Why does Oxford get that push when, let's be fair, yes, he's had a couple of spells where he looks brilliant, but... I don't know. He's not.
I don't disagree with you. I think he's scoring goals. He should be given a chance. I just can't see it happening. I don't know where he's going to come in. I don't know who's going to come in.
I'm not saying rely on him. Don't rely on the guy, because that's what killed Freddie Sears. But definitely give him some time. Give him some 20 minutes, 10 minutes here and there.
You know, given our history, we'll get some injuries for the end of the season. He'll find himself on the bench, sure enough.
Yeah.
That's all the questions this week, guys. I think I missed the opportunity to ask you guys earlier, just very quickly before we wrap it up. Predictions for Southampton game, guys, very quickly.
I don't think we'll win.
Will we concede 4?
Oh, I hope not. I'm going to say 2-2, but ask me again at the game when I see the lineup.
Oh yes, when we do our vlog, which we will do again. Paul.
Honestly, if I'm going gut instinct now, and if I was being honest with myself, I think we'll probably lose 3-1. I hate saying that, and I really hope I'm wrong, but I feel like it could go that way.
Yeah, I do. There was a good thing made about the West Brom game, actually, sorry, touching on it again, that they have not scored more than 1 goal since March, and then they banged in 4. Like, it's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Anyway.
Right. Keep smiling, guys. West Ham Banter page have changed their name. They're now West Ham Fan Zone, I believe they're called. So please keep checking them out. If you've not seen, the winner of the shirt competition for 1,000 subscribers was Will Costello. That shirt has been sent out to you. Please tweet out when you receive the shirt so we can retweet and just show off some of the prizes that we give away. Next prize will be probably at 2,000, 2,500. So get us out there, guys. Push us out. Share. Obviously, we're getting loads of good feedback now, but we need to get us out there now. It's your job to share us. if you've not checked out Paul's videos, please check them out. Lee will be back with some of his videos in a week. I'll be back with a preview. Paul, you'll be doing a review, won't you, of Accrington?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully we'll be
actually see the game anywhere unless you're actually there.
I'll get it on the radio.
On the radio, yeah, the old palace. Yeah, that's it, guys. Keep believing. Come on, you irons.
Cheers.